Hello Gemini, welcome to your Oracle Serpent reading. We are going to start out with what you are leaving behind. Go straight up the path, through the twists and turns, all the way to what you may not see in your future. So I have here a double deck, and I do that purposely. There are times that two cards come out and they double down on each other, and so I know that that is an important aspect of the reading. You'd be surprised how many times it does not happen, so I do rely on that a lot. Let's start. What is Gemini leaving behind? You have completed a cycle, okay? You're leaving behind something that you feel is now over, and it's okay to move forward. Why? You're moving because you are in search of something passionate. It doesn't have to be actual, it doesn't have to be love. This came out as well. So what I wanted to say is that just because there's a picture of a couple on here doesn't mean that you're going in search of a passionate love affair, although you could be, for sure. You could be leaving behind something that was dead, and you could be moving towards something or wanting to move towards something that'll reignite your passion. You do have some regrets about this. There are some regrets. The thing here is, if it's not a relationship, it could be a job that you, or work that you're just trying to move ahead to find out what it is you want to do, what you feel passionate about, what it is that you can do now that this is over with. Let's see, what is it that calls you onto this path? Let's try to come out. Wow. Well, you might be, all right, I'm going to try to be as well-rounded as possible here, okay? It looks like you're going towards something that you feel passionate about. You have some regret. What calls you, though? It could be deceptive, what you're moving towards, or it could be you that's being deceptive. This could be a temptation. When I see passion next to temptation, I tend to think that it might be sexual in nature, but let's keep going and see what happens. What challenges Gemini on this path? What challenges Gemini on this path? You got a double, yeah. What challenges you is the same thing that's pushing you forward, Gemini. And it would be the Gemini reading this happened with the double cards, right? Here you have the twins, okay? This cycle is complete. You might be moving away towards something in an honest way. Somebody might be deceiving you. You might have deceived someone to try to get out of this situation. So far, I'm not seeing anything that says it's terrible or anything. Sometimes it's necessary to lie to someone to not break their heart. So let's just keep going and we'll clarify and we'll figure it out. But right now, you do have a definite cycle ending and a definite change and a completion. Okay? What calls Gemini? What calls you? So what calls you, Gemini, is, you're looking for some balance. You're looking for perhaps some justice. You do have a facade. The facade, I mean, it looks as though you have a facade, all right, and you have of course, a dual nature, something that requires balance. your beliefs and what you're actually showing people are two different things. And sometimes that can be very positive. Sometimes it's important to be able to do that. I wish I could do that. I was told I just don't have a poker face, so if I'm upset, you know, if I think you're an idiot, it's going to show on my face. But I know a lot of people have this ability to be a lot more political. So let's see. What is it that Gemini wants? You want to detach from this situation. You definitely want it to be over. What is calling Gemini? What is calling you, it might very well be your own nature that's calling you, or it might be another air sign. And with temptation and chemistry and a facade and you trying to detach, it may very well be that you are moving towards another person. If you're not, then you're absolutely trying to move towards yourself and think of yourself. And it may be a situation where you did not think of yourself for a very long time. Okay. Let's see. What crosses you? Let's do that there. What crosses you? What crosses you? What crosses you is your renewal and spark. And so this could very well be, you have to ask yourself, are you in group one where you have this problem settling down and this problem with, do you have a problem retaining a spark and a renewal with one person? Or has your spark been put out by somebody, by a situation? It is crossing you either way. So if you can't find your spark, okay, if your spark's been put out, that will deter you. That will put you on a path that you don't want to be. You need that spark. You need to find that passion. If you are finding it difficult to maintain a spark within a relationship, that's also crossing you for your future. But let's see what you don't see coming. What does Gemini not see coming? What you don't see coming is a divine masculine. Now, it could very well be a person who is masculine, a man, or it could be a female energy that steps into their divine masculine, or it could be you stepping into this role yourself. At the bottom of the deck, what do we have here? We have self-care. So let's look back on this before we start clarifying it. We have the self-care card. We have this spark here. So if you're finding it difficult to regain your spark, your passion, you need to get that back so you could step into your energy. The detachment perhaps is needed because you did get 2 completions. And that is like an absolute ending, something that has to be over. And it's right next to the deception card. Maybe somebody deceived you. Maybe you felt deceived. Maybe you had to be a little deceptive in order to get away from this situation. Maybe this had something to do with a fellow air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But let us clarify some of this stuff, because in the end, you have this divine masculine waiting. And it's interesting. I'd like to see what I would like to see. Let's see. Let me see if I could move this up a little bit. Okay. Starts here, 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 and here. Okay. Okay. Now I do not read reversals with these particular tiles, right? So up, we have the Ten of Swords. Okay. That's what you're leaving behind, Gemini. So you might have felt betrayed. You might have betrayed someone else. Either way, it caused a cycle to come to an end. You moved into Ten of Cups energy. But it's right on top of the regret card. So you might regret losing an aspect of this relationship. But here you have the Ten of Swords, the Ten of Cups, 2 cycle completion cards, which is, you know, moving on to a new cycle. Dead, dead, dead. Moving on, cycle complete, cycle complete. There's only so many times the cards could say the same thing, right? And here we have the Emperor. So you're moving from the Ten of Swords to this Emperor energy, okay? Somebody who is in control of their life, someone who takes their work, their path. They make choices for themselves. Now on top of this deception card, you have the Knight of Pentacles. So somebody may have been deceptive to you in regards to money, or it might have been you that was deceptive towards someone else on your way out the door in regards to money. Here we have the Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords here, obviously, on top of balance, justice. It's you're balancing things here. I mean, if you look at the picture, you have your cell phone in one hand, you have the computer in front of you, you have a pen in front of you. You know, traditionally the Two of Swords is a woman sitting with 2 swords crossed in front of her. Might be a decision that you had to make. Maybe you had to put on a facade to make this decision. Maybe someone's facade fell off through this Ten of Swords energy, but you felt the need to be cold and become the High Priestess. The High Priestess definitely isn't usually a cold sign, but it is a cold archetype, but it's an introspective one, and it's someone who is more quiet than they are talkative, and they're very intuitive. And so perhaps you needed this detachment and to become a little bit more intuitive, to break out of this and see something for what it was. On top of this Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy, you have the Hierophant. This could be a marriage that broke up. It certainly looks like it to me. Under the renewal and on top of the renewal and the spark, perfect. You have the Fool, which couldn't be more perfect. It crosses you because you need to get on a new path. Yes, you have. This cycle has ended. Whether you have actually walked away and started this path or not, I'm sure some of you have, but it seems many of you haven't, and it's just in your brain to do this. What crosses you is if you don't get on this new path as the Fool, if you don't get that spark back, you run the risk of looping in this cycle. So over Divine Masculine, you have the Seven of Pentacles. And this Divine Masculine could be something that you yourself are working on. You could be working on, if you're a male, you could be working on yourself. Could be, obviously, Pentacles can mean money. It could mean, it's earthly things though. It could absolutely be vanity. It could be something that you want to do physically to yourself. And if you're female, you're either stepping into the role of masculine, or more likely you are heading towards a divine masculine, and it is something that you're consciously working towards, at least in the end. It says you don't see it coming, but that card is the card of someone who works towards something. So either way, you're going to end up here. So with the self-care and the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Swords, let's do an oracle card. An oracle card. You got the Scribe, preserving knowledge and information. The shadow side of this is altering facts or plagiarizing other people's work. Altering facts could be very deceptive energy, okay? But I'm going to take the light attribute on this card. You're preserving knowledge here with these two cards. There are things that you know, or things that you think, or things that you plan, and you don't share them, and you keep things close to the chest, and it is your way of moving through the serpent towards what you want. You just, like I said, have to ensure that you're not looping over here, round and round, stationary. You want to move through all the twists and turns, because if you keep forging ahead, you'll end up apparently in a place that you really love. I'm going to pull one more card here. Bananas. Okay. It says listen more and speak less. I mean, listen, that literally goes with all of these cards. It goes with the Scribe. It goes with the Detachment. It goes with the High Priestess. So there are 4 cards here that say to listen more and speak less. That is the advice. I don't think you need that advice. I think that you're actually doing that. And if you're not, if you're in the group of Geminis that aren't, it's clearly telling you that that's what you need to do. Listen more, speak less. This Ten of Swords energy, it could very well be something that you did to someone else or someone else did to you, right? It's a general reading and it could go either way. But there was something that happened that was a betrayal. It's right next to the Temptation card. It's right next to the Deception card. It's right next to the Regret card. So I'm not saying that you need to go back. You obviously believe that this cycle is complete and that there is no going back, or there shouldn't be. And so what I'm telling you to do is try to be quiet, listen more, speak less, and just keep pushing along here. Self-care, I think that's part of your self-care. You do have something unexpected that might come up. But I do believe that this storm comes if you stay looped in this situation. Your fate, okay? Your fate waits for you. It does. And so you need to release. You need to release and surrender and purge that. And here we have transformation. I will stop right there with transformation with Pluto. Because transformation, the butterfly, transformation. It's time for you to transform, Gemini. It's time for you to break out of a loop. Bury what needs to be buried. Move on. And do your best not to divulge more than you have to. I wish you luck. Namaste.